You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to the lounge, everyone. Appreciate your patience. I also appreciate your presence. Know it's been a while since you all have heard from me. So, I've been taking some classes. I am currently trying to pursue becoming a counselor, a certified anger management counselor. So nevertheless, I've been taking classes on that, praying that God gives me all the connections I need in order to be able to embark on this new journey. It's going to take a lot of footwork. So nevertheless, y'all, that is what I've been doing. So I don't want to go on and chitter chatter about everything I've been up to, because I know y'all been waiting on this content, so we're just going to go ahead and get it popping. Furthermore, also, ladies, all my Mocha minions, my Mocha members, I'm going to upload y'all videos soon as well. So just check the community tab for times. Y'all know I can't give specific times, so what I do is I upload what I will put on the community tab, what content is coming up, and then you got to check back for the time, because I got so many different projects going on. I got my own Tumblr business with t-shirts, and then my husband, I got to play secretary to his roofing business. So I got a whole lot going on, y'all, so I got to get it in where I can fit it in. So let's get this popping. I thought it was imperative that we discuss this. And it's becoming toxic baby daddy season, and it's becoming more and more common, unfortunately, with a lot of women. We've seen 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, going through baby daddy drama with her ex-husband Ralph. We've seen Melody countless of times going through so much with Martell being the father of her children. We've seen Wendy Williams going through it with the father of her son, Kevin Hunter. And we've definitely been hearing a lot about Chrisean Rock and Blueface now that she has recently conceived his baby boy, Chrisean Malone Jr. So y'all, I felt this was the perfect opportunity to definitely talk about this, because it's becoming way too common. So I'm going to talk about co-parenting with the toxic baby father, how it affects the child, and all the factors are included in it. So first, I'm going to start off with my scripture, and this is my favorite scripture, y'all. 2 Timothy chapter 3. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. So the scripture is definitely revealing itself, because man are becoming lovers of themselves to the point that they don't even have love for their own children. So If y'all haven't already been hearing about it, several bloggers have been speaking upon this. Big ups to all of the bloggers. Caramel Rail, I think her name, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. True T, Chit Chat with True T. Let me see. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Auntie Ann, Aunt Ann, Black Titanic, and so many to even name. So big ups to all the bloggers that are keeping up with everything that's going on, in the celebrity realm, because it takes a lot of research and a lot of keeping up with everything. So big ups to all of the bloggers that's doing the darn thing, all the sisters in blogging. It takes a lot of work. That's why usually I just stick with one subject and stick. I can't do the celebrity gossip and all of that because it's very time consuming. It takes a lot of work to do a lot of research. So big ups to all the bloggers that's doing that, because I know y'all are putting in a lot of time and energy and effort. So we're gonna talk about this co-parenting with the toxic baby father. It's very unfortunate. It's very natural. Before I go there, it's very natural for women at some point in time to want to create a family. Nothing is more precious than, having a family in which you can build a legacy and a foundation, and in years to come, all of your good efforts, good teachings, and everything you have instilled into that child, you get to reap the benefits and reap the rewards for all of the hard work, all of the time and the energy that you put into these, young, innocent individuals that God has assigned to you to be a part of your life. So, it's every woman's dream, for the most part, to want to have a family, a good husband, a man of God who honors family, who understands the seriousness of fatherhood, and is willing to love the mother of his children, love his wife, honor and respect the vows, so they can build a foundation and a legacy for their children. But the truth of the matter is, all women are not going to seek the benefits of that blessing, because things happen. And unfortunately, no matter how good your intentions are, no matter how much you try to plan things the right way, meaning, you get married first, buy the house, then have the children. You could do things perfectly by the books. You can abide by your morals, abide by all your principles, but at the end of the day, you have absolutely no control over your significant other's motives and intentions. So in other words, even though there's been many women out there who have tried to do it the right way, who have saved themselves for the right husband, who have waited until marriage, women who chose to not have children until they were married. It's been many women who have tried to specifically follow the rules, follow the morals, follow the word of God, do things the right way, and hope that it works out in your favor, only to find out that things totally go a different direction. And then there are other women who did not establish any rules, implant any boundaries, didn't go about having children the right way as well. But nevertheless, we have no control over what the other parent decides to do that can possibly jeopardize the well-being of the children and the well-being of the marriage. So you have a lot of single mothers, those who went about it the right way, those who went about it the wrong way, that still ended up in the same common place, meaning having a toxic baby father. And it happens. And I need to be honest and let all women know that you can do it the right way and still end up on the losing end. You see Melody, for instance, businesswoman, business oriented, very good wife, very good mother, did everything she could to make sure her children never lacked for the best, and did everything she could to try to keep her marriage together for the sake of her children. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, Melody had no control over Martell's actions. Martell made the decision to disgrace his family by not respecting the vows, also impregnating another harlot outside of the marriage, creating another bastard child that was not conceived within the marriage from his wife. And Melody still had to walk that hall of shame, not because of her actions, but because of her husband's actions. And the truth of the matter is, when you have two individuals who come together and make a vow before God and who have made that covenant, you are not of one flesh anymore, not individually. You both are of one flesh, meaning you and your husband, you and your wife, y'all are one bond. Y'all are one individual. That's what marriage does. Marriage, the covenant, solidifies both individuals as of one, meaning you both are as of one now. So whatever decisions you make, whatever actions you take, is going to affect and impact your significant other. So unfortunately, Melody had to pay the price for Martell's actions, okay? And this is why it's very important that before you make the decision to marry or get married, you have to be able to read them between the lines, pay attention to the red flags, really communicate with this person, find out, get to know their mindset, understand their psyche, understand where they come from, and especially when it comes down to having children. Because you have to realize, once you have children from a man, he's in your life forever. It's not like if you and the guy dated or you and the guy moved in together and things didn't work out, y'all was able to go to y'all separate ways. You never had to talk to this Negro again. You never had to deal with this ninja ever in life because there was no attachment. There was no other obligations involved. And that is the beauty when you don't have kids from these ninjas, okay? Things don't work out. You're able to move on happily with your life. But the reality is there's a lot of single moms out here who are forever joined to a no good, deadbeat, narcissistic, toxic baby daddy. And it's millions. And it's happening every single day. And hate to be the bearer of bad news, it is not just black men. It is white men. It is Latino men. As Halle Berry, who has to pay both of her white baby zaddies child support. So let's not create this stereotype where it's only black men that are narcissistic, that are toxic. Toxicness and narcissism does not discriminate, okay? So don't think you're playing it safe because you cross over to the other side. Don't think because your baby daddy is older, you're exempt from a toxic baby daddy. Don't think because he's another race outside of being black, he's less likely to be toxic. Don't think because he's young. Don't think because he's a millionaire and makes a lot of money. It does not matter. They come in different shapes, colors, and sizes when it comes to the toxic baby daddy. Like you got a lot of toxic, bitter baby mamas of all races. Even though a lot of these men want to keep highlighting black women as being bitter baby mamas, but it's all over the board. It's women of all colors. So that's the first thing we need to realize, that toxicity does not have a color and it does not have a certain financial bracket. You got poverty pookies that are baby daddies that are just as toxic as, men who are baby daddies that are millionaires, that are athletes, that are professionals. So it does not matter. That's why it's imperative that you really get to know a person, not for just what they say, but for what they do. You have to be around them for some years to really learn their character. So you're not just dealing with knowing them based off the information that they are willing to share with you, but you have to be willing to not be anxious, not be thirsty, because you got so many women that want to be married so bad. You got so many women that's concerned about their biological clock. They're past the age of 36, so they're trying to hurry up and get it in by any means necessary. Nevertheless, there's a lot of women that are being challenged with dealing with these type of men, whom they made the ultimate decision to breed their seed from. So I want to go into the elements and definitely break down, what women have to realize they are up against when it comes to co-parenting with a toxic baby father and how it affects the child. So the first thing I wanted to mention was most baby fathers that are toxic, they come from dysfunctional families, meaning that either there was not a man in the home that gave them the best example of being a good father. Either the father was not present, either there was an absentee father, or if there was a father, he was not the best of example. Maybe he was abusive, a womanizer, or you had some men that just did not have a backbone, in which the woman had to lead, she had to work, she had to provide, and he basically just laid around and didn't do anything that a man is supposed to do. Did not work, did not provide, and just instead took the role of being a burden to the family versus being a blessing. So the way a man is structured has a lot to do with how he perceives the importance of parenting. If he did not have a father in the home at all, he may feel that not being present as a father is not that important, because he himself never had a father. And in his mind, well, my mama made it, and as far as I'm concerned, I grew up to still be great. As even if, although he's dysfunctional and narcissistic, in his mind, his single mother raised him great. So he don't feel like he was ever at a disadvantage not having a father in his home. Now, mind you, the narcissistic part of him, he'll use that though later on in an event he wants empathy or sympathy. Well, I didn't have a father in the home, or I didn't have a real man. He'll use that later on as a guilt trip token, depending on what type of situation or obstacles he encounters in life. But a man's well-being and the ways he was raised has a lot to do with how he becomes a toxic baby daddy. And the biggest key to the puzzle is the mother, especially if she was the only primary parent. Now, you have a lot of these mothers, like I look at Blueface mom. The rapper Blueface, for those of y'all who are not familiar with Blueface is one of these new age rappers that's pretty much washed out at this point. He has most of his publicity that he's been receiving has not been from his music, has not been from his celebrityism, but a lot of his his publicity is derived from the fact that he's constantly beefing with now the soon mother, the new mother of his child, Chrisean Rock. So for those who are not familiar with this, because everybody does not listen to trap music or drill music, whatever they call it, Blueface is a very controversial rapper who has been in the limelight for basically being a drama king. He's what I call a male diva. And he's pretty much like Martell. You know, for those of y'all who don't know nothing about that drill music world, I'm going to try to explain it very simple for y'all. He's like a young but more talented and more what's the word, more direct version of Martell. You know, Blueface, I would say, is a handsome young man, but his attitude and his character is completely horrible. It's terrible. And we have seen him over the years in the little duration of his career, which he doesn't have much of it, consistently and constantly disrespect women. And here he meets Chrisean Rock, which was a very pretty, which it still is, a very pretty young woman, who was really doing well in her life. She was on the track team, you know, very athletic, you know, she very pretty, you know, young, bubbly, you know, a young woman just kind of in her prime, really learning herself. And she was really in a good space. You know, her life was not perfect, but it wasn't near as toxic until she got with Blueface. Blueface started this show. I don't know if it's called Blueface Baddies or what, but it was one of those ratchet reality shows in which he had all of these different women competing for his attention, and Chrisean Rock happened to be one of them. And so happened, I think she was the one who ultimately ended up winning the show, and her and Blueface had became an item ever since then. And we have constantly seen nothing but toxic energy and toxic behavior displayed between the both of them. And when I say Blueface has no filter, he just has no filter. The best way I could put it is, when y'all done viewing this live, just check out some interviews with Blueface and Chrisean, and you will see very clearly this is he is definitely a certified male diva, and he's a narcissist. You know, and Chrisean ultimately fell for Blueface because of his looks. You know, he's not an ugly guy, but I'm sure most importantly because of his fame during that time and era. He was hot at that time. He's so much not during this time, okay? So Blueface was popping. So like a lot of young women, they want to be associated and tied to these drill rappers, these guys that are very beastie and nasty to women, but they want to embark on that journey with them because they want to be a part of that lifestyle. They want to go on tours. They want to be on stage. You know, it can be very fascinating when you're with a popular, famous rapper. You know, all the VIPs, all the, you know, you popping Cristal and you riding in the limos and you having VIP and all the women envying you because you are this trophy. So you think on the arms of this famous drill rapper, you know, until over time, you know, he starts disrespecting you and degrading you and treating you like a groupie. You find out that you really don't have no more of a real stand in his life compared to his fans. And what ended up happening was Blueface started treating Chrisean like a groupie. But Chrisean, at this point in time, like a lot of young women, fell for it. She took the bait of being with a better male. She took the better male bait, fell for him because of not what he was, but who he was, which was Blueface. You know, his name is Jonathan, but she fell for Blueface the rapper. And you have a lot of females who become very infatuated with men because of not who they are, not what they are, but who they are. You get what I'm saying? So even though she was getting, you know, all the groupie benefits, meaning that unlike the other groupies who probably only got an autograph, she was the one who actually, you know, was able to be with Blueface all the time. So much to the point she got herself tatted up. She got Blueface tatted up all over her body. She has a face of Blueface tatted on her neck. I think his name is on the side of her forehead. So she's so deeply built such a strong demonic soul tie with this young man that she felt comfortable enough to tat her body up with his name and his face. And he's nowhere even deserving of a woman permanently putting him anywhere on her skin. But nevertheless, that's just how infatuated she became. That's how hooked she was. And honestly, toxic relationships are like a drug. Once you get hooked, you hooked. And it's very hard to wean off somebody who's toxic for you because it's like a drug. You know what I mean? And the person becomes a drug to you. Yes, love, toxic love is indeed is a drug. Okay? It's very addicting. You know it's not good for you, but you're not willing to do what it takes to wean yourself off of it and get away from it. So, once Chrisean and Blueface became an item, this man became very complacent and disrespecting her. Now keep in mind, he already had 2 kids from a previous relationship with I think the other young lady name is Jaden. Okay, he has a son and a daughter from her. We've seen many videos in which Blueface and Jaden's children are definitely in dire need of home training. We've seen Blueface's son act out, act like little Chucky, like little Helmet, you know, like Air Mattress and Martell's son. You can just tell, you know, his son, Blueface's oldest son, has a lot of disciplinary problems. He's hard-headed. He does not listen. And of course, Blueface being the toxic, narcissistic father he is, he can't identify that his son has disciplinary problems. So much to the point that he asked his own, I think the boy is 7 or 8, I don't know. Is he 6 or 7? And he asked his own son, national TV, was he gay? Because his son did not want to watch him and his mother, did not want to watch his mother twerk with her city girlfriends. You know, and that's just one episode. There's many that I'm not going to go into because my content will go into 3 hours. So, not only is Blueface a toxic baby daddy, but he's a toxic parent as far as when it comes to how he's raising his children in an unstable environment. So anyway, him and his bell pepper built baby mama named Jaden, who is definitely no prize. You can tell she's always been pretty much very submissive to Blueface and his shenanigans. And, you know, you can look at her and you can tell her self-esteem is not 100% there. But ironically, I did not know he'd been with this girl since high school. They like high school sweethearts. I think since middle school. So I think he's been kicking it with her every bit of 10 years or more. You know, so they do have a history together. So I'm sure he was already narcissistic as a young man, as an unfamous, not known type of guy. And I'm sure once he became famous and well known, it just enhanced his narcissistic ways. But his first baby mama, like Chrisean, was always infatuated with Blueface. And that's why she made the decision to have 2 children from him. And because she was the first baby mama, she automatically felt like she had a tie to Blueface that will always keep her in a better position compared to other women. And Chrisean knew this. Now keep in mind, a lot of people is showing this empathy and sympathy for Chrisean, who is actually you know, seeing and feeling the funk of Blueface wrath. But keep in mind, before we feel sorry for her and want to mail her Hallmark cards, sympathy cards, keep in mind, Krishan knew what Blueface was. She saw how he fathered his first children with Jaden. And Jaden and Krishan, like a lot of these baby mamas, they are willing to disrespect each other just to have a place with the baby daddy, who means neither one no good. Okay, we see it all the time in the hood. We know women on the job. We all may have a sister. We may have a female cousin. We know that she's constantly beefing with her baby daddies, baby mamas, and nobody is checking the ninja. They so busy beefing with each other. And you can't tell, and this is the truth of the matter, a lot of times you attract your own kind. So if you're a toxic woman, you're going to 9 times out of 10 attract a toxic man. So Krishan and Blueface, like a lot of these women out here who lack self-esteem, who lack dignity, who lack pride, they allow Blueface to pretty much disrespect the both of them. And because both of them wanted to have a one-up, neither one was woman enough to leave the other to the chaos. Instead, they both kept feeding off of it from each other through Blueface. And Blueface was the middleman, intentionally allowing these women to disrespect each other, compete with each other, all to keep his attention and his affection. So Krishan and Jaden had been going on Instagram, going back to back, dragging each other through the mud, and all of it, because of Blueface. And if I have time, I'm gonna probably try to read some of those Instagram posts if I have time, because there's a lot of them. But Krishan and Jaden have been consistently disrespecting each other because Blueface has pitted them against each other. Which brings me to my next point, that not only the toxic baby daddy comes from a family of no structure, the other issue is that the toxic baby father will pit all of his baby mothers against each other. And see, it's a slick manipulative tactic of basically having them to do his dirty work. The truth is, a lot of these men, especially these narcissistic men, they're not strong enough or confident enough to attack or drag a woman on their own. They have to basically recruit their baby mamas who are just as toxic and got low self-esteem. Air Mattress Ariane, for example, is one who Martell has always been able to recruit and use as a tool to help him attack and destroy Mel. The toxic baby father is weak. He's a beta male. He needs other narcissistic, toxic people on his team to help destroy and sabotage his baby mama. Because he knows he's not strong enough, he's not smart enough to conquer by himself. So like the saying goes, there are strength in numbers. He wants to recruit as many people as possible. We've seen Martell do it. He has recruited half of the people from the show, and Ariane, Air Mattress, will always be his flunky, because she thinks the more that she proves her disrespect to Melody, the more it's going to help her win brownie points with Martell. Which, the truth of the matter is, a lot of these women don't understand. Disrespecting your toxic baby daddy, other baby mamas, unless she's coming for you, I get it, you got to defend yourself. But because it's calling you and going off, yeah, my baby mama did this, did that, and blah, 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 woo-de-woo-de-woo, and you so infatuated with him, and you so badly want him, you willing to co-sign on whatever he says, that you're willing to disrespect the other baby mamas. And Jaden has always defended Blueface like Air Mattress has always defended Martell. And Blueface, like Martell and these other toxic baby daddies, other toxic ninjas, they always know they have that one baby mama that's a flunky, is what they call a flying monkey, that's going to always run to their defense, even though they aren't even getting the best of treatment. Jaden, like Air Mattress, is so dumb. Blueface has ping pong back and forth between the both of them. When Blueface got mad with Jaden, he went to Krishan. When he got married with Krishan, he went to Jaden. And meanwhile, both of these women thought they were winning, when in actuality, it was Blueface being a puppet master and pitting both of them against each other to his advantage. Neither one of them was womanly enough to recognize what he was doing. Melody, being the woman that she is, she recognized it right from the jump. So instead of going back and forth with Ariane Air Mattress, trying to prove to Ariane that that's still my husband, even though I know you smashing my husband and y'all got a son together, I'ma still be with him no matter what. I'ma have more babies no matter what. Melody could have took that route. Melody could have been like, oh, hell no, I'm not leaving my husband. I'm going to stay with him. I'm going to have more babies. I'm an out baby. Ariane Air Mattress. Then here comes Ariane Air Mattress. She'll go right behind her and have another one. You see, you have women that are willing to play games with their wombs and sabotage their own future, their own life with a no good ninja just to prove a point to another baby mama who is also in the struggle and in the suffering season right along with her. This is the mindset of women who get themselves in a situation, which is why I beg to differ that everybody's coming to Krishan's defense, because truth be told, Krishan been wanting the baby from Blueface. Even though she said they planned it, she been wanting that because she felt like Jaden had a one up on her by having 2 children, because Jaden has a boy and a girl. So Krishan been wanting a child from Blueface, even though she saw that he loves to go back and forth to his baby mama, and she saw how Blueface was so, was so possessive of his children. Now keep in mind, you have the toxic baby daddy. He doesn't mind being possessive of his children, but he doesn't want to be responsible for his children. Let me say that again. You have the toxic baby father who wants to be possessive with his children, but he does not want to be responsible for his children. Okay? Meaning he wants to be able to call the shots, how the children should be raised, where the children can go, who the children could be around. But when it comes to the financially taking care of them and being real fathers, like raising them, helping to be more active versus you only want to get them to take them to Dairy Queen or the Burger King. You actually participate in their games. You go talk to their teachers. Be a real full-time dad. A lot of them don't want that role. Okay? Now, I will say this. Unlike Martell, Blueface always financially provided for his children with Jaden. So, I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. But you have a toxic baby father. You got those two who feel like because they provide, they don't have to do anything else. Now, I noticed, looking at a lot of the videos where Jaden would post her and Blueface, because, of course, she wanted everybody to know she had that title, but now she's not the only baby mama anymore. She's just baby mama number 1. But I noticed how every time she would post all these Instagram videos and stuff like that, and it could have been her way of taunting Krishan, because Krishan didn't have any children at the time. You can tell she was doing most of the footwork. Blueface was just an Instagram dad. He would post pictures like Martell, post pictures like he's doing all of this and that. He's such a wonderful father. And he'll post that one picture like he's doing something, but most of the work was on Jaden. I saw how Jaden had to be the one to discipline the kids. When the kids would cry, Jaden the one picking them up. Jaden the one trying to comfort them. While Blueface is sitting there laughing and giggling it off, and stuff like that. So, again, you have men, their kids are just property possessions. They're just something they like to say they own. Their children are just for ownership purposes only. But when it comes down to disciplining, providing, financially contributing, a lot of these men, that's the part of being a father that they don't want. And the reason the toxic baby daddy wants to be possessive of the child is because that's his way of being possessive of the mother of that child. Because if he says, well, I don't want my son, I don't want my daughter going to your sister's house because I don't like your sister, this and that, That's also his way of controlling the mother of his child, because he might know the mother of his child and the sister is real close, and he might not like that. So he'll use the kids as an excuse, as a division. That way he's having his way. He's getting the best of both worlds. He's making the rules, and at the same time, that's his way of controlling the mother. You have a lot of men like this. I'm gonna make rules to control the child. I'm gonna make rules that's gonna control the child, so that way I can control the mother of my child. And the narcissistic part about them will say, it's all about my children. I don't want my kids here. I don't want my kids there. Like Martell, I don't want my kids online. But you intentionally said that so you can keep posting Lil Helmet online, Lil Chucky online. You keep posting Air Mattress child, son. That way you can undercoverly, narcissistically attack and throw jabs at male. Like, it's like a nana boo boo. I can show my little Chucky, my little Helmet. I can display him all over online. But you can't disclose none of the Eminem kids. What you think you're doing for harm, God may be doing for good. He think he's controlling the situation by enforcing Melody to not to be able to exploit her children, but at the same time, that's protecting the kids, because really they don't need to be exploited on Instagram a lot. You get what I'm saying? And it doesn't negate the fact that they still not living their best life. Melody is still giving them the best of everything. They're still not wanting for anything. While you, on the other hand, you get to display little Chucky, little Helmet all day long, but he doesn't have near as much, and never will have near as much as the Eminem children. And then he wonder why everybody gets to opinionate. All the bloggers are opinionating on Lil Helmet, because you keep showing them to the world. We see him act like Lil Chucky. We see him act like Lil Radio, like he a little special, you know. So everybody has grounds to opinionate, because you want to advertise your demon seed, your bastard child, for clout, and you still ain't getting no clout. Nobody's not doing no deals with you. Nobody wants to do modeling gigs with your son. Nobody wants to, you know, you're not getting any businesses ventures with your Lil Helmet, with Lil Helmet Jr. Unlike Melody, who by court order, she cannot show or advertise her children, but she's still making money off of Sugar Mama. She's still, you know, benefiting. And that was the only reason Martell got mad and enforced that, because he's just determined he's going to have control one way or another. Which brings me to my next point. The co-parenting with the toxic baby father is all about control. They will lie and say it's for the best interest of the children. Now keep in mind, Krishan wanted this baby. And I remember when Krishan first got pregnant, she was gloating and milking it, because a part of her was so happy that she finally was able to throw something in Jaden's face. She been seizing the moment, been seizing the opportunity. And I remember when she first got pregnant, how happy she was. She was nowhere near showing. She was rubbing her belly. She had cameras following her as soon as she went to the clinic and found out. As soon as she took the pregnancy test, she was so excited to be pregnant from this no good ninja who already wasn't a good father to the first kid she had, but she was milking it up because, again, Jaden had something she did not have, which was Blueface's children. So now that you have Blueface's son, he's been giving you a run for your money. We're trying to. Ever since she gave birth to this baby, this man has been online non-stop going in. She doing this for clout. How you gonna sit up there and have my son and not even invite me to the birth, and I missed out on that moment? I mean, just going back and forth. But mind you, this narcissistic ninja He was the same one who didn't even want Krishan having this baby. Now that Krishan has had the baby and Krishan is getting all this admiration and all of this support, something he hates, he despises. Because Blueface wants everybody to feel the same way about Krishan that he does. Same thing with Martell. He wants everybody to be against Mel like he is. That is the trait of the toxic baby father. They need a hating campaign. They have to bring other haters on to help do their dirty work. So, ever since Krishan had this baby, this man has been relentless. And when you're dealing with a toxic baby father, they are relentless. So, down to the simple things. Krishan did a live, and you know, and it was very interesting because you can tell the reality has set in. She realizes, I'm a mother. I got to protect this baby at all costs. So I'm glad to say that I see that the seriousness has definitely registered, because that was my concern. So far, she's understanding this is a new life I brought in this world. It's not about me. I got to protect my child. And sometimes children give you a different perspective on life that you normally, you know what I mean, you don't care about when you didn't have any children. You know, you have a new outlook. You realize you got to do things differently because the decisions you make now not only affects you, it affects the child. So anyway, she did a live, basically stating that, hey, I gave you the opportunity. You could have came and been there. You didn't want to be there. Now, I'm going to do what I got to do to protect my child by any means necessary. I don't want no child support, anything from you. I just want to protect my child. I will not keep the baby from you, but by any means necessary, I'm going to protect my child. I'm not going to let you, put me in a position where I can feel like my child is at harm. That's not exactly what she said, but that's basically was her incentive that she was giving off. And the way she was holding the baby, I didn't see anything wrong with it. So, but nevertheless, Blueface, because he's angry and mad in his feelings, and the control has been taken out of his hands, he's been having a whole lot to say. And a lot of his animosity for Krishan is building up because he realizes how much control he does not have over the situation. Pretty much like Martell with Melody. The toxic baby father, the less control, the more chaos they will create. The less control, the more chaos they will create. Because at this point, they are determined by any means necessary to get the upper hand. And if it takes being malicious, being vindictive, blasting you, making up lies, airing you out, anything to make you look pathetic, that's what they're willing to do. Now, there's another channel I got some of this information from. It's called Since Day One. Her channel is pretty good, and she's been covering a lot of the things that Blueface has been covering. That's why I said big ups to all of the sisters on blogging, because y'all be doing a darn thing, honey. Y'all be having receipts. So check her out if y'all haven't. Or her channel is called Since Day One, which is one word together, Day One, and the first word is since. So Since Day One. If you go there, please tell her Mocha sent me. Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Let her know my channel sent you there. It's very imperative that other content creators know that we don't just use their material, we look out for them. So, one of the things that he posted, I have 2 kids. I've never missed their birth. I know what the moment means, but she wants to do it by herself. Literally name the boy after herself. Come on, cuz if that's not the most selfish stuff I've ever seen, that should tell you enough about the situation. So, as much as he acted like he didn't want no parts to do with this baby, all of a sudden he's acting like he deserves to have a say. He deserves to have a part in it. This is what these narcissistic ninjas do. Okay, so going to the next post. I'm just reading a couple of Instagrams, y'all. I'm just going to read some of them. Who the F make a baby an Instagram 1 day old named 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Jr.? Let's really think about it for real. So he's on typing tantrum rant where he's typing back and forth repetitively. And this was shortly thereafter she gave birth to their son. Crazy, I gotta deal with somebody like this forever. Yes, you do. Then he says, it's about what's best for the baby at this point. Fuck me and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 differences, but I'm not jumping out the window. She wants to make it about herself. Maybe she thinks her son doesn't need his dad because you guys encourage these selfish decisions. Let me see what the other stuff he posted. Of course, he went on live a couple of times, y'all. And 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 did respond back at one point and says, I don't condone none of that. Me as a mother, I'm going to make sure my kid is safe from any harm. Which I totally agree with her on that. Got a narcissistic baby daddy, you got to protect your child by any means. Okay, so reading another. Okay, so Ashley, I read somewhere that Jaden's grandma works for CPS there. Don't know how true this is, but it claims they always overlook the people with nicer houses regardless. Like, bye, go inside and look around. Okay, so at some point in time, the reason why one of those that statement was made from a commentator or whatever was because at one point in time they reported once or twice Jaden and Blueface was reported a couple of times, I guess, to CPS, Child Protective Services, but supposedly Jaden has a grandmother who works there, which is the reason why supposedly, allegedly, all the complaints made against them, even things that they were doing live on Instagram, like Jaden with the strippers, having all the strippers around her son and all of that. The reason why that stuff keeps getting disregarded because allegedly Blueface's, I'm sorry, not Blueface's, but Jaden, which is Blueface's first baby mama, has family who works at CPS. And if that's the case, that's definitely a breach because family or not, she could lose her job for that if they have proof that she knew about something but never reported it. So, anyway, Jaden decides to be petty and she posts a lot of old pictures of when she had her child and with Blueface being there holding the baby, holding their first children together. So again, she decides to be team Blueface, thinking it's going to win her brownie points. Like Air Mattress thinks dragging Mel and saying something about Mel is going to keep her in the running as becoming the next wife of Martell. Jaden goes on and places on there with the pictures when he was holding the baby, irreplaceable moments. I couldn't care less about none of the BS, but you always show for them. So I guess she's trying to rub it in 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼's face. Nanny boo boo, your son missed out on his father being there to enjoy that moment with you, but I didn't deprive my children of that. Both of my kids was able to be held by their father because I allowed him to be there during the birth of both our babies. So again, she's trying to throw shade. So I don't know what this one says. I'm not going to worry about that. So when my son turned 10 and I explained to him why his name is 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Jr., like, yeah, son, My bad. I had a baby with a clout chaser, so she gave you her name for more bookings. My bad. So again, Blueface is trying to gaslight. He's still making it about him. I mean, I hate to say this, but he does have 1% a point. You know, hopefully, as this young man, as their son gets older, he doesn't feel some type of way that his mom named him after him and not after his father. This world is full of male chauvinistic dudes, and hopefully nobody uses that against him. Well, you ain't no real man because you named after your mama. You know, you should be named after your dad or whatever the case is. I just thought it was weird that she called him Junior. When no woman I know has ever done that, named a child after her and named the child Junior, especially a boy. Not saying she wrong, all right. That's her blessing, that's her child, but hopefully, because of the type of father he has, which is Blueface, hopefully he does not explain it to the child in a way in which the child could end up resenting Chrisean. The baby may or may not. I'm just saying hypothetically. Sometimes you be so angry at the fathers, you make a decision and don't think later on down the line, like, how can this affect them? How can this impact if I decide to take it there? So, you know, like I said, in that sense, that's a catch-22 situation. But at the same time, Blueface is a clout chaser. He's the king of clout chasing. He's been on here ranting back to back to back to back instead of being a grown-ass man and calling Chrisean and discussing it with her and talking with her about it. He calls himself trying to embarrass and humiliate Chrisean, so he's posting everything publicly. And of course, Chrisean's mother, she had to get involved and give her 2 cents. Let's see what it says. Now, Jaden go, Blueface posts again. She's been quiet since I posted about the drug test. What? Somebody say something. So he's definitely being petty. Trying to make everything that Chrisean does bad. He's trying to make her look like trash as much as possible. Chrisean says, I simply didn't invite him. I went to my city to have my child. None of you weird people ain't finna be around my son. I'm all he got. I'm gonna do everything I can to protect him from hate and jealousy of anything. His name is Chrisean and he will be loved unconditionally. I think she said unconditionally. And I understand that. She got to protect her child. That's part of being a mother. Everybody not going to agree with how you do things, but you got to protect your children. Okay, so one of the commentators jumps on board on Blueface's page and says, regardless of what she said or didn't say, if you wanted to be there, you would have. Same PJ you used to get to Stewie to Miami. I guess they meant plane. Same plane you used to get to Stewie to Miami is the same one you should have used for your son. Now they call Blueface's first baby mama Stewie because she's not that appealing to the eye. I will let y'all be the judge of that. Y'all can Google her, put in Jaden, Blueface, baby mama Jaden, and you will see she is definitely not a catch. Okay, but I'll let y'all figure that one out on y'all own. So that's why they call her Stewie, because she has she's bad bodied, and I mean got a bad body, not a bad body. I mean bad bodied. And she has a really fat face, so I'll let y'all be the judge of that. Somebody else says, this must be so embarrassing for Stewie. You're up this early thinking about Rock. Chrisean Rock. Pathetic. Blue, you're extremely sad. Leave it the F alone is giving pressed. So all of these bad things and how they're trying to come at Chrisean. A lot of people are coming to Chrisean's defense and telling baby mama, Blueface and his baby mama Stewie the bell pepper built broad, that y'all the ones that's looking pathetic. Y'all trying to make Krishan look bad, and Krishan ain't the one that's looking bad. Y'all are. So a lot of people are going in. That Blueface and Stewie, they don't have no fans. So Blueface has been coming on here off and on, just saying all kind of stuff, to stir up the pot and add more friction to it. And honestly, anyone with a real heart will understand all she was saying is, if it was going to be negative energy, she ain't want you there. But you, as a grown-ass man, a father of not one but two other children, you should be grown enough to make your own decisions. Oh, shoot. Okay. Pause that. You should be grown enough to make your own decisions. You wasn't there for the push, but after you could have talked to her, you came on your own like a grown man, and y'all could have discussed the name and even change it. But no. Don't forget, you was with Jaden, which is Stewie, and decided to give Krishan attention, because her as a tool, you playing all of this crap. Let me see, all of this still while being for real. You expected Krishan to get another abortion, but that's why you so hurt and confused, and you ain't right for using anything against her. You better off not dealing with her in the social light. But no, you post. Why should you care how she making money if the money is going to be used to take care of her son? Oh yeah, because you want all the money to yourself. So as you can see, a lot of people are going in on him, Blueface, and the mother of his child. And it's worse, when you're in the public eye. You have women who go through this on the daily basis. I see women on Facebook and Instagram all the time complaining and venting about the father of their children. My baby daddy is a deadbeat. My baby daddy is toxic. My baby daddy don't do shit, and he's a ninja, and blah, 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 blah. But the truth of the matter is, these are the men who you chose to have a child from. You can either, play the game with them and go back and forth, or pull up your big girl panties and say, you know what, by any means necessary, I'm going to have to be the bigger person in the situation, like Melody is doing. Melody is not feeding into the shenanigans of Martell. And I can only imagine how hard and difficult and challenging it is when you have a child from a narcissistic ninja. And it does affect the child. It does put the child in a bad situation, because children, I hate to say this, children are never going to feel about their fathers how we want them to feel. Even as a mother, you can know your baby daddy, is garbage. You can know he's not a real father. You can know he's not responsible. But children have a different set of eyes that we don't have. Regardless of how corrupt and manipulative and vindictive a lot of these, narcissistic ninjas are, children still see their fathers as a prize. Children still see their fathers as someone who cannot fail them. And the only reason why we can see it so well is because we are older, we are more mature, and we're looking at it from a different lens. We're looking at it from, this is our baby father versus this is my dad, from what a child would perceive. So children are not really going to understand until they get old enough to know better. And then they see the difference. Unfortunately, I'm sure the Eminem kids still kind of see Martell as a prize. But the older they get, the less Martell is going to be able to manipulate them. And that's what a lot of these men don't understand. Your children are getting older every day. And the lies and the disrespect that you have displayed towards their mother and towards them, eventually they're going to get old enough to catch on. And once they figure out that you are not this outstanding man that claims to be a great father like you pretend to be, they stop dealing with you. If they do deal with you, they deal with you from a distance. When they see you're treating their mother like garbage, and they know their mom is a good mom, and especially if they see how their mother is getting affected by the disrespect. At some point or another, they're going to back away. They're going to walk away from you. If Martell doesn't get it together, because the Eminem kids are smart, they're not like little Helmet or little Chucky, where they can't read in between the lines and they don't have discretion. They're going to know that their father is doing way too much damage to their mom, and the more they could keep encountering that, that's the less they're going to have anything to do with Martell. And that's why, like I said earlier, when Krishan was gloating and milking off of being pregnant, now she realizes you're no different than Jaden. You're going to get the same level of disrespect. You're going to get the same treatment of having to do the majority of the work on yourself, because Blueface does not value being a father. He does not value having children. You have a lot of men and women out here, they have kids, but they don't value them. That's the difference. Same thing. Even Air Mattress had to admit a couple of times that Martell is not a real stand-up dude. He's not a real stand-up father. Yes, he comes around. Yes, he may take Lil Helmet to get a haircut or out for some ice cream, but for the most part, he's not a good father. And part of being a good father, what a lot of these men don't understand, is it has a lot to do with how you treat the mother of that child. Now, if the mother is disrespectful, ratchet, coming at you all kind of way, then that's different. As a man, you got to put your foot down how you see fit. But, if you are just blatantly and regularly disrespecting the mother of your children, and your children are observing it, they're witnessing it, witnessing the emotional toll it takes on their mom, eventually they're going to resent you as their father. They don't see it now. They're going to find out later, and you have to answer to that at some given point. But Air Mattress is saying that Martell don't get that little boy all the time. She even said it. She said on Straight No Chaser, he doesn't get Lil Helmet near as much as he gets the Eminem kids. But all this time, you thinking you better, than Melody, and you're not benefiting no more than Mel ever has. And that's what Krishan is going to find out. It's unfortunate that Krishan, even though, I think, this baby is going to give her, it's going to be her new lifeline. It's going to give her a new outlook on life. The problem is she had her baby from Blueface. Blueface is a narcissistic ninja who does not take accountability, and he does not have good parenting skills when it comes to being a father. Look at how he raised his other two. See how his little boy was throwing tantrums in the store, having the Holy Ghost on the floor because he couldn't get what he wanted. You have to realize your children are not only going to be raised partially or wholly by these narcissistic ninjas, but the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You take a chance when you have children from these type of men. Your child has what's called DNA, which means they inherit a lot of their father's or mother's character traits. If the father is a narcissist, your son and your daughter may have narcissistic ways. If the father is combative and abusive, don't be surprised if you don't see your son or your daughter being combative and abusive. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. That's why you cannot play games with your womb. You got to protect your womb and make sure that if you indeed plan on having any children, that you breed your seed from somebody who's not perfect, but who at least is healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and definitely spiritually. But the problem is you have a lot of these women that get on this thirst of wanting to be a mom, want to have a baby so bad, or they so afraid that Oh, if I don't have a child from him, I can't keep him in my life. He's going to walk away and leave. So they will take a gamble with their wombs, get pregnant, and hope it works out. Seen all the red flags, but have played games of Russian roulette with their wombs. Hope it works out, only to find out that they've gotten themselves into a far worse situation. And once these men become the father of your children, you cannot trade them in. You cannot say, oh, he's a deadbeat. Could I get a different baby daddy? I want to do a refund. There are no refunds on deadbeat baby daddies. Once you choose them to have a child from, once you choose them to breed your seed with, you are forever in debt. Meaning, if he disrespected you as a girlfriend, he's going to disrespect you as a baby mama. If he dragged you as his girlfriend, he's going to drag you as baby mama. A baby does not change how a man treats you. Arion Air Mattress knows that better than anybody. Arion Air Mattress, honey, at this point, you might as well just share your truth with all the young women out there. Don't sit up here and be trying to justify and make it sound like Martell is a stand-up dude. You might as well do your own podcast. Arion Air Mattress, if you want a little bit of respect, tell women why not to have a child from a married man. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to make it sound glorious. Have a podcast and tell them why it's not worth it. And we want the raw, uncut truth. We don't want you pacing back and forth and then you trying to cover it up. Well, he is a good man though, but Martell is not a good father, but he does come around. But no. Don't try to justify it. We want the raw, honest truth. Share your truth so these other young women out here could learn not to be young and dumb and full of cum like you was. That's the least you could do. You may get a little bit more respect than what you're getting now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's just something to kind of think about. But Chrisean has a long journey to go. Blueface is the father of her son. And let me tell you something else about these toxic baby daddies I almost forgot to mention. These men wait for you to fail. They wait for you to fail so they can use it as leverage. We've seen Martell look for any and every way for Melody to fail his children so he can use it against her and get custody. I don't want my children being around all these different people. She got all these different people keeping our children, knowing good damn well Melody is not going to put her children in harm's way where anybody can keep them. But he wants to make Melody look bad as a parent. He wants her to slip. If Mel has one fall from grace, anything happens that, or within her control or out of control, Martell is sitting there rubbing his hands together, waiting to seize the opportunity in which she can fail so he can take them kids from up under her. Blueface was already complaining when Chrisean was holding the baby. She was holding the baby a certain way, and he was complaining about that. She holding the baby like a football and not, properly positioning his head. I mean, this is her first time being a mom. She's learning as she goes. She's going to make mistakes. She's not harming the child. But he took that little bit and made a big skeptical out of that. That is something that the toxic baby father does. Even though they have failed their children tremendously, they feel like you failed your child one time. They can't wait to go blabbing it to somebody. See, she ain't no good mother. She don't take care. Why she got all our kids on social media? That's not being a good parent. They look for you to mess up, even though they done messed up from the start. Martell ain't looking at, I done had a whole little Chucky from a harlot. He wants to point out little mediocre stuff about Mel. Oh, Mel ain't take Tank to get his hair cut. Mel was late picking up little sugar mama from stuff. Any little thing to try to make this woman look bad. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the child. It's all about them benefiting off that child. And that is what we have to deal with. So I might do a part 2 if I feel like I didn't address some things in this particular content, but I'm already going over an hour and some change. So y'all, that is just some of the things to be cautious of in the event you decide to co-parent with a toxic baby father. And keep in mind, it is going to affect the child, and all this means is that you're going to have to be a woman 20 times stronger than you've ever been before, because not only you got to be strong for you, but you also have to be strong for your child. So nevertheless, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. Also, don't forget, I sell cable. You can get over 10,000 channels for $25 a month. Hit me up, email me. If you got a Fire Stick and you want to connect your cable today, email me. If you don't have a Fire Stick but you would like to get cable, email me so I can ship you a Fire Stick, okay? It's only $25 a month. Times are hard. Stop giving these cable providers, these cable companies, satellite dish, stop giving them over $100 a month for some cable. That is ridiculous. Christmas is coming up. You got other stuff to do with your money. Also, don't forget, those of you who want to order tumblers, I do have a Christmas special going on. If you order your tumbler now, pay for it up front now, you'll get $5 off per tumbler. So instead of my tumblers being 30, it'll be 25. Instead of them being 25, it'll be 20. But you only have up until the end of September. After that, the Christmas special is voided. So if you want to order tumblers early as a Christmas gift for mom, grandma, dad, granddad, husband, whoever, hit me up. Keep in mind, when I make tumblers, I will send you an animated display so you can see what the tumbler looks like before you purchase it. That way you see what you're getting before you put your money out there. So yes, when I do create tumblers, I always send a model, an animated model of what the tumbler will look like. Okay, so we're on the same page. But anyway, I'm going to shut it down. I should have my exclusive Prime, exclusive Mocha Minion content. I should be uploading that tomorrow. Talking about women that are first ladies within the ministry, while a lot of first ladies end up divorcing or leaving their husbands that are in ministry, or their husbands that are pastors, like Megan Good. Of course, Shawnee O'Neal was Shawnee Henderson, who is now married to Pastor Keon Henderson, had a little episode recently in which her husband had to take her off of the online because she was kind of going off or going at his members within the church about them being fake and not being genuine. So of course, you know, he had to shut that down really quick. But I want to really elaborate a lot more on that, as to why a lot of women are bowing out of being first ladies, being married to men within the ministry, because it's a lot of work that comes along with being in that type of position. Well, you have a lot of church members keeping their eyes on you, especially if they know you as a star. They remember you on the reality show. They remember you in the cover magazines when you were showing your breasts and showing your thighs and stuff like that. So especially once you've been out in the world before you actually transition to a first lady. A lot of these church folks, and as I said, church folks, not Christians, church folks like to keep using your past against you. But anyway, I'm going to save that for the Mocha Million. So if you have not become a member already, so you can have exclusive access to certain videos I will not be posting. It's only $2.99 a month. You're welcome to join anytime. So I will be talking to y'all soon. Y'all be blessed. Take care.